You suck.
Well, why don't you intro the show, motherfucker?
All right, welcome to the second episode of Twinjitsu podcast. My name's Chris.
And I'm Justin.
Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, you're an idiot.
What's up, guys? It is the day after the 4th of July.
Which would make it
the
5th
of July.
Yeah.
Do you have a good 4th? What'd you do?
Nothing. Just worked on getting our room set up at the house. Grilled up some burgers and dogs.
Yeah.
We didn't have lighter fluid, so I used gasoline, dude,
Oh,
and I
my
almost blew
goodness.
my face off.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but it worked.
How did the burgers taste?
Oh, they were good. They were like these garlic feta.
Did they fuel you up?
You're an idiot. I'm going to say you're an idiot at least 15 times this podcast, I'm sure.
I can't wait.
All right, let's get this thing started.
Yeah, so before we get into any like jiu-jitsu talk or different topics, we're going to just talk about our weeks. We can start with kind of off the mat stuff and then maybe talk about like on the mat, talk about jiu-jitsu, what we've been doing on the mat. Hence, on the mat. So, one thing I did want to say because we haven't really seen each other much in the past week. You come into my work every so often. I work at a local health food store.
Kroger.
It's close. The other day I called you. You know, sometimes, hear me out.
You're an idiot. I already know what's coming.
So sometimes, you know, when you gotta take a dump, a number 2, a soft serve. Do you have any to add to the list?
No, 0.
Oh, okay.
I think you could have kept it at 1.
So sometimes, I don't know, I think it's not abnormal to want to make some phone calls to get the most out of that time. Kind of multitask, if you will.
I agree.
So we both do it. I don't know. Audience, why don't you leave us a comment if you also call people while you take poops. But
Let's get to the...
I'm trying to really build it up.
Yeah, you try and build everything up.
You got to build it up, man.
He called me while he was pooping, while I was pooping.
Yeah.
And we pooped together and talked together, and
Yeah.
it's a great bonding experience.
I said, "What are you doing?" You said, "Pooping," and I just started laughing. I said, "Me too, dude."
Yeah.
And then eventually, after like a minute or two, you're like, "All right, dude, is that it? I gotta go. You're messing my focus up."
Yeah. Well, me and Dad have talked to each other while we were pooping. I doubt you have, because you don't have as good of a relationship as him and I, but...
That's weird. He always said I was his favorite.
Yeah, well, he tells you that so you don't feel bad. Anyways...
So that happened.
I
That
don't
was
really
cool.
don't have... Well, I have an off-the-mat story, but it relates to the topic that we're going to talk about, so...
Okay. Well, we can start with that. See where that goes.
Okay.
What happened? So,
Well, what's the topic?
the topic is competitiveness. I guess as being a twin, but also in related to jiu-jitsu and how it can be a good thing, but also a bad thing.
So, last podcast was the day I went and played in my first hockey game. So, basically, I scored my first goal. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But I got lucky. It rebounded off the goalie, and I put it in. And right when I scored, I went, yes! Just like pumped my fist, and I went, yes! And then I realized real quick how stupid I looked because well, first of all, we played a team that was 60%, 70% women.
Not that that matters.
No, because they're better than most of them were better than me.
Yeah.
But they were having the time of their lives, and I mean I was too. But I got super competitive, and when I scored the goals, you would have thought I was PK Subban with a slap shot from the blue line.
Hockey reference.
Yeah, but it was fun. But I was like, yo, chill out.
Yeah, I know.
Ryan was dying laughing because he was in the front of the net with me, and he saw me go, yes. So the other day at Jiu-Jitsu, we were rolling, and I like swept him or something, or maybe he swept me, but he went, yes. Dude, it was so funny.
How long have you been doing hockey?
A year.
Why did you get into it? I mean, I kind of got into it I've gone with you, but you're definitely way more into doing it and more committed to it than I am.
When the Preds first did their playoff run to the Stanley Cup,
The Nashville
I guess
Predators.
2 years ago now, or a year ago, whatever. Just wanted to play, looked it up, went and tried it out.
Try it out.
And
Your Mom's House podcast shout out.
that's the second one.
Shout out. Every episode we're gonna get a shout out in.
And yeah, I just fell in love with it real quick, and me and Ryan just started going. Tried to get other people into it, but they just, I mean, it's expensive getting started up. So,
this is a question I'll ask, and eventually I want a whole episode about kind of this topic. But do you think it helps or hurts your jiu-jitsu?
hockey?
Yeah.
Oh, it helps for sure.
Why?
I would say it's a symbiotic relationship. Dude.
Oh, I like that.
Words, bro.
You haven't even read. I don't think you've read one book in your life.
I read one Harry Potter book.
For real,
for
this
sure.
is not an exaggeration.
And no, I read the Gracie Diet.
The whole thing?
Yeah, it was 50 pages. And I read magazines here and there. But anyways, what was I saying?
Symbiotic relationship between
okay.
hockey and jiu-jitsu.
So I think when you try and learn something, I want to say master, but obviously I'm no master in jiu-jitsu, but that's the goal, is you learn to break things down, like techniques and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just much easier to learn things, I think, when you're in that mindset. And cardio-wise, it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was having a heart attack, but I played through it.
You gotta try it out, man.
Try it out.
Cool. I'm sure there's more we can talk about with that, but I know when I was training jiu-jitsu all the time, I thought, if I'm doing anything else other than jiu-jitsu, I'm hurting it. And Professor Reggie, our jiu-jitsu instructor, would tell me all the time, he's like, man, you need hobbies, like do something off the mats. And I'm like, nah. And then I realized, like, it's actually a good thing to have different hobbies, whether it's another sport or art or whatever. I think it all helps. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Symbiotic?
Wait, that's not the word?
Symbiotic?
I'm thinking bionic, like more like...
That's the wrong word, but keep thinking it. But it's good to start at the bottom, I think. Get humbled real quick.
Yeah, become a white belt at something.
Dude, one chick bodied me up. Dude.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't fall, but me and Ryan collided at one point because I was skating. My back was to him, and I don't know if he didn't see me or what, but we ran right into each other. But yeah, that girl, she made me question my life real quick.
Oh, I wish I would have seen that. I wish I would. Ugh.
Dude, they were a rowdy team.
All right. I don't really have any off the mat stories other than us pooping together. I mean, not together. Like, we clarified, but.
Got my flight booked for Denver.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Alex Persons. I'm going to be his shoe model. Just kidding. He doesn't make them in my size.
I wish he did.
But, yeah. That'll be fun.
Do you have any plans out there? Are you going to train out there at all?
No, not going to train him. I'm just trying to learn photography and stuff from him. We're going to go to like the...
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, that's one of the big reasons why I want to go. Is he's got a bunch of cool spots to take pictures, like the old mining town, like the abandoned mining town and all that stuff. So we're just going to have a bro week.
I mean, cool. A little male bondage experience.
Male bondage time.
That'll be fun. Cool. So we'll talk about kind of our training, I guess, on the mats. Have you trained? Have you gotten to train a decent amount this week?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Well, not this week. I've trained every day this week starting Monday, but getting ready for the Nashville Open. Have you?
I've trained depending on when we start our weeks, but 2 or 3 times. Depending on how late this is, I'll train tonight, probably tomorrow. I definitely could be training more than I am, but I feel like I've keep healing an injury and then being like, oh, I'm good to train, and then I try and train as hard as I used to train, but my body can't handle it anymore, and I keep getting hurt. And my wrist is finally starting to heal up.
My fingers hurt.
I feel like fingers, unless like they're broken, they're pretty much always just gonna hurt.
I just need to tape them. There's never do.
Not much you can do about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm training at a new school, Artista BJJ. Shout out Felix. Shout out Kevin. For a bunch of different reasons, moving and a few other reasons, and it's been cool to train at a new spot. It's a nice school.
Super nice. I've been there once, but it was cool. I like the mats too.
Yeah.
I think someone said they're like not suspended, but like
it's on
it's
some
like
sort
springy
of
kinda.
Yeah.
Feels like you're on like the canvas, like you're about to fight in the UFC or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun there. He's got a bunch of art he's like gotten from artists all along the walls. It's really cool. But it's been fun just training with all different people. And I feel like I've gotten, when I first started training, if I ever trained anywhere new just to like visit or whatever, I would always get nervous. And I hadn't felt that in a while. And when I kind of first went to Artista for the first time, I got nervous, and it's just, I don't know.
Like when we went together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super nervous.
Yeah.
Always. Even if I'm going with a white belt. If I don't know him, I get nervous.
Yeah, and that's just like, I don't know.
It's the ego, right?
Probably, but I get nervous, but also like I guess it is the ego. Like, am I going to get tired?
Rolling with a new person is like as close as it gets to mimicking competition. Well, feeling like I definitely get a little adrenaline. It's stupid, but it's how I am.
But I think a lot of on the other end, they're probably feeling that too, to a degree, because you train with one group of people, and of course you get new people coming along, and occasionally get visitors, but you all start to kind of know each other's jiu-jitsu, what to expect. This person's going to be a hard roll. This person's going to kind of be a little easier, not necessarily because of skill. Maybe they're just like that's their style, or but you kind of all know each other, and then so when you go into a brand new environment, neither of you know what to expect, and I think that's really good to do for your jiu-jitsu. It's kind of like what we were talking about with maybe doing hockey. It's a similar feeling of kind of starting over, even though you're not starting over jiu-jitsu, you're starting over with someone brand new, and yeah, you know what I mean?
I don't think it's a bad thing. Dude, I didn't cross-train until just recently, but I think it's the best thing that I've done, and I need to do it more.
Yeah.
It's just hard when your school's so close.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
So.
All right, so we'll kind of lead into talking about being competitive. I think, we're both obviously pretty competitive people.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still the same level of competitive, but not like
immature about it.
Yeah. And
no, I will go to one of my niece's birthday parties, and if they're playing a wiffle ball game, I will be number one.
Yeah, even if you're playing with
6-year-old girls and 6-year-old boys.
Yeah.
It's hard not to.
And
we played volleyball one time with Maria's cousin, dude, and it was like a scene out of a movie where a guy, because it was like me, I can't remember who was on my team, but her cousin was on the other team, and she was competitive too, or maybe we played soccer. I don't know. Either way, it was like me versus her.
Just kicking people in the face with the ball.
I wanted to win.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Even Yeah, like with a group of friends bowling, I'm not good at bowling at all, but I want to win.
Yeah.
and
if there's no chance of winning, you're just going to make a goof of yourself. Like, make it funny.
I think a lot of that stems from being twins.
For sure.
Why do you think that is? I think I have reasons, I guess, but not reasons, but
because
why?
Because I don't know, we want to be better than the other one.
Yeah. I mean, I
guess I don't want to say like trying to fight for our parents' attention, but
probably that's how it started too.
There's two of us, but one of us has to be noticed more.
Yeah.
So
that definitely for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of siblings in general are competitive, can be competitive, but when you have like an exact copy of yourself, and I think it kind of not brings it to another level, but definitely very competitive. Always wanting things to be fair. It never was. Yeah,
he always got the most.
Well, yeah, whatever,
for
dude.
Sure.
No way.
I got a check one year that I couldn't cash, and you got a brand new guitar.
Well,
amp.
I asked for something that could be bought. You just asked for like an imaginary thing that maybe existed or didn't exist. You know?
Yeah. Well,
money. It wasn't there at the time.
Yeah.
You're gonna cash that check soon, though, right?
Yeah, totally. I still have it stored away.
Yeah, so things like being fair, not being fair, but also, yeah, like fighting for people's attention, whatever we were doing, like wanting not to be better than other people, but be better than the other twin was the main goal. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
For sure, a good thing.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't think it was a good thing when we were more immature, just being a bad sport now. I mean, I don't want to say I don't care if I lose, but I'm not going to be a bad sport about losing something or whatever.
Yeah. I think that it just, it comes from the experience of just losing and going through it and realizing it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make you any less of a person if you fail at, like, whether it's in jiu-jitsu or whatever, but
I doubt we would be as mature about losing if we didn't do jiu-jitsu.
No, yeah, for
would
sure.
Would have never learned that.
Yeah, I feel like even getting mad at like video games and stuff, like,
yeah, we used to fight.
I don't care, like whatever. But obviously that competitive drive is still there to want to be the best. But I guess too, a lot of it's like learning to turn that competitiveness, like where you're not comparing yourself to other people's performance, but just to your own. I think that for me, even still sometimes, but a lot of that came to comparing how I'm doing compared to other people. But if you have that mindset, that can be a very, very bad thing. Let's talk about, I guess, are there any other benefits to being competitive? How has that translated into when you first started jiu-jitsu? Did you either you can talk about with me when we would train together and spar?
Well, I would just say now it's if someone passes my guard or something, I'm not. At the beginning, I would have gotten mad, like not necessarily at the person, but frustrated. I don't want to say at the person, but now it's like if someone passes my guard, I'm mad, disappointed in myself, rather than like or say if someone's going hard, they try and pass my guard or they do pass my guard. Now it doesn't bother me as much, where as a white belt, if someone's going hard and then they pass my guard and smash me, I would get pissed.
Yeah. But part of that jiu-jitsu lesson too is like learning like those times when you do get mad or like frustrated, a lot of times you kind of freak out and do something dumb and then you end up getting choked. So that's a good lesson. It kind of teaches you pretty quickly, I don't want them to pass my guard. I'm going to fight harder next time for that not to happen, but I need to stay calm. Otherwise, I'm going to get choked. Because usually in jiu-jitsu, if you react with emotion, if the other person's more calm than you are, they're going to beat you. That's just the reality. 99.47% of the time.
Yeah, I enjoy when if someone's smashing me or whatever.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy when, like, they pass my guard and I'm like, obviously I want to get my guard back, but I'm like, I'm definitely just going to not let them submit me. and they'll be smashing me, put all their weight, squeezing my head, and they're the ones that are getting frustrated, and I'm just calm because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not like, they already passed my guard, so I'm not worried. I'm just
And like you said, it can go the other way where not necessarily you're getting beat and you get frustrated, but sometimes you're kind of winning, quote unquote, the match. But then if someone's staying calm and you're trying stuff and all of a sudden it's not working, you're not able to, like, that could get frustrating. And then that's when the person can kind of capitalize on that and maybe get their guard back or escape if they have, if you have a submission or something like that. How do you think, have you, like, being competitive with me and you? Because it's like we said in the first podcast, I started training a little bit before him, and then it was kind of my job for a long time, so I got to train a lot more than you. Have you felt competitive towards me? I mean, I know we do, like, even if
But now it's, I mean, there's still times where I get frustrated.
Yeah. I know.
At myself, not at you.
Oh, okay.
Although sometimes you're just trying to hurt me.
No, dude. I would never have. I don't think I've ever hurt you.
Not that I can think of. I think I've hurt you before.
Yeah,
like
probably.
Your ribs or something.
Yeah, back when you were
just trying to
a big
smash
boy.
you. But what was the question?
Like feeling competitive towards me.
Oh, yeah.
Or each other.
It's
Because I
good,
definitely
though.
feel competitive with you. Like, even
Especially now. Because, I mean, not that I'm a lot closer, I think, in my jiu-jitsu than we've ever. Maybe a little bit.
maybe. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I don't think
I mean, definitely, you're like, you could catch me, like, whatever. Like, catch me with whatever.
I haven't in a long time.
Yeah. I think it's been
I think of it-
1,042 days and maybe like 6 hours, something like that since the last time.
Man, I completely forgot what I was going to say. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. But it's cool training as a twin because, I mean, even though right now we're, 30-pound difference or so, give or take, we're the exact same body type. Like we both have really long legs, which you can definitely use to your advantage in jiu-jitsu. And big feet.
I swept someone and came on top. I had a spider guard grip.
You came on top of him?
I came on top of him. Anyways, I had a spider guard grip, and so my foot was on his bicep on the ground, and I wasn't putting my weight on it. I was just keeping it there, and I trapped his arm.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what he said, but he was like, "Oh my God." And we kept rolling at the end of the roll. He was like, "Dude, your foot is so big." He was like, "You had my whole arm trapped with your foot."
Yeah, it definitely does help with, like, spider guard, having giant feet, and De La Hiva for sure. But anyways, like, it's rare that you can come across people with similar body types than you, and, like, maybe they play a similar jiu-jitsu game as you do, but very rarely is it kind of so similar. Even though we both do, I mean, we have different jiu-jitsu styles, but we've trained together so much that I
think my guard is pretty. It comes from you.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah.
And my passing too. It's the same. People say I look like I'm dancing.
Yeah.
Someone said that. I'm like, well, I'm just. Anyways.
So
just
you're
trying
like,
to dance,
you're like my
bro.
big brother in real life, but I'm like your jiu-jitsu big brother.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to take a little break and make sure the camera's recording, and then we'll get back to it?
Break. And we're back.
One question I wanted to ask you before we kind of move on, if we are moving on from the topic, but did you feel any sort of competitiveness when I lost weight before you, or like how did that make you feel? Did it motivate you? Did it make you feel bad?
I'd say it motivated me more than made me feel bad. I mean, I would definitely get mad when you would try and get me to conform to the same diet or whatever. Because I think you did slow carb
Yeah.
or whatever for a long time.
Yeah, I would all.
You like invited me over. You're like, and we ate eggs and beans.
Yeah, and guacamole probably.
You're like, this is what you need to eat. And I'm like, okay, it's good.
Yeah, because it was all coming from a place of like just wanting to see you healthy and stuff. But
I don't know. I think as we get older, we realize that your life is not my life.
yeah, we're separate.
Yeah.
But I mean, now more so, we try and help each other, I think.
You would always tell me I was going to get diabetes, dude, all the time. Like when we lived off Daniels,
It was tough love. It was like
I would have a beer and then eat something. You'd be like, dude, you're going to get fucking diabetes. All the time.
remember when we were both big, we would always call each other fat ass, even though we were both fat. When we got mad at each other, we'd be like, shut up, fat ass.
Yeah. I remember when we played football, a backyard football game, and a friend that we know is also super overweight. We were playing football. I already mentioned that. And he was like, I'll guard the fat one. And I'm like, okay, first of all, Justin's fat and you're fat, so which one is the fat one?
Yeah.
It made me so
Who
mad.
was it?
Tim.
Oh. Really? That's hilarious. Yeah, I was just curious if like how, but like ultimately with anything like that, you can always try and get people when you do something new. It's like the common joke of like, how do you know when someone does CrossFit? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
But that applies to even with jiu-jitsu. That joke applies to jiu-jitsu so hard. If anyone's into jiu-jitsu, there's the classic, like, okay, they start training and then they post about it 5 times a day, every day on Facebook or, you do something new, you get excited about it, you want to share it. And of course you want your friends to do it. And kind of the same idea with the diet. Like I just wanted you to do it with me and because I wanted you healthy and all that. But ultimately everyone's on their own path and no one's, and if anyways, like it probably pushed you away more to be like, no,
Yeah,
fuck it, I'm
for
gonna keep
sure.
doing what I want to do. So you obviously it's good to say that stuff to people and trying to get them into stuff, but when you push someone, it kind of just pushes them away from wanting to actually do it. They kind of got to decide and go on their own path and make it happen on their own. Okay, so what else?
Well, I was just going to say, because you were talking about people that post and stuff, the like seeking validation, I guess. Dude, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
Like if I do anything, I'm going to tell at least 5 people as quick as I can. I feel like Bert Kreischer sometimes. Where I'm like,
Burnt Chrysler.
Dude, you will not believe what I just did.
Yeah. That's a pretty good impression.
That was terrible. I could work on it.
Yeah, I think.
But I mean, when other people like tell me, I try and be as enthusiastic about it, whatever it is, even if I don't care about something. I'm like, oh, sick, you flew a kite today?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about competing a little bit. And maybe this could warrant a whole nother episode, but we both competed.
You much more than I have.
Yeah, you've competed more recently than I have. I haven't competed in 2 years, a little over 2 years, and I competed a lot from white. I competed one, or did I ever compete a white belt? I don't know. From blue to purple belt. That sounds, but I mean, for like a 4-year period, I competed all the time. It was like a goal of mine to compete once a month or like 12 times a year, and I did that I think 2 years. But yeah, I competed a lot, lost some more than I won for sure, won some. What pushed you to want to compete? Again, was it the competitive
Yeah.
But even though we both, I mean, I get scared shitless every time I compete, but I think that again that's kind of the ego. Just like, what if I lose? Everyone's gonna think I suck, or like, but
yeah, I mean, most of the time I'm super nervous, but really, like in Worlds, I really was, because I had no expectations. The most recent Worlds, my first competition as a brown belt at Worlds, and I had an injury where I really shouldn't have even been competing. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there, pull guard, and not get hurt. And I wasn't nervous. And then Atlanta,
but
too.
You lost.
Yeah, I lost.
Not that matters,
I lost
but
super quick.
Because I think competing is all about obviously training and everything, but your mentality, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Your fucking mentality. Your mindset and everything plays a huge role in it. And I haven't figured out what really works for me. And on different days, there's been times where I've won, where I've psyched myself up to like where I was nervous. I remember before one competition, I was fighting a couple weight classes above just because there wasn't anyone in my division. And the two dudes I was fighting, both were huge and just looked scary. And Professor Mike, from GB Murfreesboro was there. He was the only person on our team or like any Gracie Baja people that was there. And so he coached me, and as one of the dudes is walking up, because you kind of, before you compete, they bring you to the mat, and you're kind of just standing on opposite sides of the mat, 10 feet from each other. And of course you're like trying to eye them up, like see like, oh, I wonder, like they're big, I bet they're strong. And like, but right as we're walking up, Mike goes, "Oh, Justin, he looks scary. He came here to fight." And on the outside, if I heard someone saying that to somebody, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Like, that's going to freak him out." And it did freak me out, but it worked to where I was like, well, I can't, I came to fight too. Like, it kind of freaked me out, but pumped me up, and I won. But maybe it was just that day or coming from him or whatever. Because then there's been times where I psych myself up, listen to like, high energy music, and then I feel like it probably hurt me in a lot of ways.
The best I've ever felt was in Atlanta as a purple belt. And I screwed. This is the only time I've had music, because all the other times, either my phone, like I had no connection, because whenever there's that many people around, the connection's always shit. But in Atlanta, I had music. I was like, I'm going to have music ready. And for like an hour, I was in the bullpen just dancing, dude.
Yeah.
And I was having a good ass time. And the guy I was going to fight was super late. So it was 20 minutes had gone by since we were like supposed to fight. And finally he showed up, and I was ready to go, dude. And that's the best I've ever felt. And I won that first match. Then I got to rest for like 7 minutes, and then fought a guy who, it was his first fight because he got a bye, and he destroyed me. But that's probably the most fun I've ever had at a competition.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth with music.
I think I don't know. California, I didn't have music, but I kind of wish I would have. And it happened so fast. I didn't even get to wrap my shoulder up or anything.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends on the situation and how you're feeling that day. But I always felt like it was weird, like while you're waiting to fight, you have music, and then right before you fight, you take your headphones out, and then you're on the mat, and you just like you haven't acclimated to like the sound of the tournament and what it sounds like. And then so when you go to compete, it's just like kind of, for me, I've realized, I think in a lot of ways it was like sensory overload. So I think for me, it was good to, sometimes I don't listen to music, and sometimes I'll listen, but like 20 minutes before, just not right before I get on the mat will I take my headphones out, because I think that kind of messed me up.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Another thing too about Atlanta, which I haven't done in other tournaments, because I was dancing around and the match was late, I was super warmed up. Like, I was already sweating, so that helped. But like in California, I didn't warm up at all.
Have you felt, like, I guess we've talked about that kind of maturing a little bit, but I've never gotten angry after losing a tournament.
No, I don't.
I've gotten angry with myself or frustrated, but not like I would have if I. That's the thing too, is jiu-jitsu is a one-person sport, and there are other like 1-versus-1 sports out there, but the majority of people, the majority of people do team sports. And to add another element, not only is it 1-versus-1 sport, where it's all on you. It's a fighting sport, which adds like another layer of like ego to the equation.
Fear.
Yeah, and fear. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's been forever. Well, I mean, like the hockey game, it's a team sport. I mean, I was, I guess, a little nervous just because it's like not, even though I know a lot of the rules just from watching hockey, but, you know, nervous just because I've never played a game, but I wasn't the way I get before a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
And I was going to say this earlier, like about watching you compete or watching any of our teammates compete. Dude, I get way more nervous watching friends or my brother compete than myself. Oh, like I feel like I'm going to puke everywhere. My heart goes to 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's crazy.
I remember the first time I went out to California and competed at a bigger tournament. I think I won a match and then I lost my second match or something. I called you just because it was like a big experience. Kind of flying.
I think it was Worlds or Pan Am.
No, this was the Long Beach Open. It was the first non-local tournament. I flew to California to do it. I think George Toyota of Cool Springs, shout out, sponsored me. I did like a GoFundMe, of course. But I called you and I was just like, I lost. And of course I started crying. I've cried quite a few times after competing to be a TBH. Have you?
Well, just one time at Naga. Because I didn't cry like too crazy, but I definitely was upset because I was a blue belt and they put me in with a white belt and he won by like in 2 advantages or something. But I felt like I was working the whole time and he did nothing, and it just bummed me out because I was like, I'm a blue belt, he's a white belt, I should have beat him. But other than that, I've never really cried.
Yeah, but I remember calling you and crying, and then you were like,
I think I was
dude,
at work.
you cried too because you started crying because you're like,
cry, I'm gonna cry.
Are you crying, bro? No. Yeah. What were you afraid competing? Like, what made you want to compete again? Because we talked about in the first episode, and we don't have to talk too much about it, but after you broke your arm.
No, I wasn't afraid to compete. I just knew tap, you know.
Yeah.
But in my second competition, I fought so it was a weird setup. It was a different Naga, and they had like 8 mats in the main gym, and then in a second gym they had like 4 mats. So I was in that gym and 2 other people on our team were in the other gym, so everyone was in the other gym. No one was there watching me. I think that probably helped, but I got worked. And
was I there?
No, and I don't know where you were. You must have been out of town or something.
I don't know. But
I tore my ligaments or whatever in my finger, and it looked terrible. But yeah, something's gonna happen in a competition. May not be a major injury, but something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like the more you're worried about it, the more likely something's gonna happen for whatever reason. You're competing at the Nashville Open?
Yep.
Do you feel ready?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you feel
it sucks because I feel like a piece of shit because I'm back in ultra heavy right now, and I just procrastinated on losing weight, so I'm registered as super heavy, but I'm gonna have to change that tonight.
I feel like
that sucks.
I've been conflicted on this, especially while I was competing, but also kind of thinking through it all now. Do you it's like, should you go compete if you're just training 2 or 3 times a week? You just want to go like see how it is, have the experience, which I think is good, but also competing is like you should go there with the mindset that you're going to win and to want to win, and like, that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should compete at least one time, but I think you should definitely compete one time each belt for sure. It's just, who cares? It doesn't matter if you lose. the experience, I guess. And it's always
honestly,
nice to just dread the whole day and dread being there and
gotta
dread
feel that
everything.
feeling.
And then once you start fighting, it's like it all goes away. And then afterwards,
you feel great. Usually,
Dude,
I mean,
the
obviously,
meal after a competition is always the best.
Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say it. Definitely, there's been times where I'm like, fuck, I just replay why I lost my head. But then, usually you have a feeling of like relief and feeling kind of like the most. A lot of times while I've competed or after, it feels like I'm the most alive I've ever been. Yeah. Like, I guess people describe that with a lot of high adrenaline situations. But yeah, you should go compete for sure. Even if you don't have the mindset of, I'm going to take the gold, just go have fun and get it. Just, get the experience. Try it out.
Agreed. Try it out.
Yeah, come on. It's like, try it out. Try it out.
All right.
I thought we were doing a bit.
No.
So what else should we talk about? I feel like you said something.
Oh, I watched combat jiu-jitsu for the first time. It was sick.
Explain what combat jiu-jitsu is to the audience,
I don't
Chris.
need to, but it's
there's going to be
jiu-jitsu matches where you can slap a grounded opponent. So you can't slap while you're both standing.
No.
But if someone pulls guard, you both can slap. And some people used the slapping really well. There were a few matches where like they barely slapped, and it was just regular jiu-jitsu match, but it was cool. It was fun to watch.
Was it Eddie Bravo's
changes.
combat jiu-jitsu thing?
Yeah,
I guess he's the one that started that.
Yeah.
Shout out Eddie Bravo. We've done that before. The slaps. Yeah. I feel like back to the competitive topic. If hitting is involved, it usually gets pretty competitive.
Because it hurts.
Yeah. So
most jiu-jitsu doesn't hurt. Most of it.
Do you? I mean, I obviously remember, but we used to, before we started jiu-jitsu, we bought like boxing gloves and stuff, and we would just go into the garage. This is when we would still get mad at each other. We were probably like 18, 19 at the time, but I think we were able to kind of control it a little bit. If we had done that 2 years before, one of us would have got hit hard, and then because we would never go all out. It was kind of just like, don't kill each other.
Yeah.
I remember that you probably don't remember, but when I knocked you out,
you didn't knock me out, dude. It buckled me a little bit, but I just wasn't ready.
I'm Justin, by the way. This is Justin talking. I
wasn't
knocked
ready.
Chris out.
No. But yeah, I remember.
That was fun.
It was fun for you.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a good training camp. And the weight cut was hard.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I'd been up for 36 hours at that time. I specifically remember.
You were on PEDs for sure.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch and waffles.
All right. So let's
wrap it up.
Are there any last words you want to say? Hearsay?
I would say this podcast wasn't as funny as the first one.
I don't. You think?
Yeah, because I'm counting jokes in my head. I had like 2. You definitely have 0 jokes.
I probably have negative jokes, honestly.
That counts as 1 right there. No, I would just say compete. If you haven't competed, just do a local match and try it out.
Just try it out. I feel like it's good. This is Justin now. Words of wisdom. I feel like it's good to have a balance. I always say it's all about balance. I always say that.
Do you always say that?
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
I've never heard you say that once.
I do. I say it usually when I'm trying to balance on something. Like say I'm walking on a curb. I like to say it's all about balance.
What about when you're doing your checkbook?
When gosh, got another joke. I'm negative now.
It's 3 to -2.
Dang
See,
it.
we're being competitive about jokes.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize it.
Damn. It's a problem. But
anyways, he's never said it's been about balance until now.
No, dude, I always trust me. Seriously, I say it's all about. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting it tattooed. tomorrow.
Just get a seesaw
Yeah.
and just say it's all about balance.
Yeah. See? Saw that.
You're an idiot, dude.
But yeah, having a balance of a healthy competitive attitude and like also not taking yourself too seriously and realizing that.
Yeah, don't be so competitive that you're a dick about it.
Yeah.
Because that's never enjoyable.
That's good advice. We should quote that on our Instagram. Quotes with Chris.
Yeah.
We'll spell Chris with a Q.
Yeah, mate, that's how I spell it.
I know. I was telling the audience. All three of you. What? Oh, I got a joke. I'm up from the negative. I'm -2 now. Did you want to give a word from our sponsors this week?
McCafe.
McCafe.
They let us pay them $3 for 2 large coffees.
Thank you.
And
It's really, I mean, I didn't think Starbucks was big, but McDonald's is a whole nother level.
yeah,
I feel like.
nothing like having your podcast under the golden arches.
I don't have any sponsors, I don't think. Actually, I just got a text. We lost a sponsor we didn't have. So I'm kidding. Another negative.
Yeah.
You won this podcast, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. A podcast champ.
Podcast champ. All right. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.
That was good.
Oh, dude.